Good morning, Facebook. So today we're talking about. What are we talking about?
I don't know, we just talked about it.
Oh.
It's my alarm to get the kids awake.
We're a little bit late today. I have not finished a full coffee, so. We were talking about, I know what we were talking about. Starting things, and when you think it's super, super hard and you just don't want to do it. So I was just saying to Connor, I'm like, I can't believe I learned how to edit these YouTube videos. Now, I'm not perfect at it.
Not an expert, that's fine. Nobody starts as an expert at anything. We piggyback that from the
there's a lot of learning still to do. Mm-hmm. But I was so afraid of it, I was avoiding it. I was just like, I'm not going to do this. I was like enlisting my almost 14-year-old kid to like help me with it. Mm-hmm. And just trying to like, I would ask for Connor's help, like, do you want to help me? And do my whiny voice, like, please. And he's like, you can do it. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. And then I was just like, fine, I'll try it. And I'm really good with like anything that's Mac, but because when we were doing YouTube before, we were using this Adobe program on the PC. I don't really, for some reason, PC to me is like alien language, where Mac is like, for me, just super, super easy. So I downloaded iMovie and was able to like do it, but it translates into everything. So when something's really hard, I notice I'll avoid something that I don't want to do just because I don't want it to be hard.
That triggered a conversation, yeah. And a lot of the times the build-up that you have in your head about how difficult something is going to be much more debilitating than doing the thing in the first place. So, again, this isn't new information necessarily, but yeah, like, people are always, or most people I should say, are in a situation where they're tentative to do the thing because they're afraid of it, and then when they end up doing it, they find that it wasn't that bad. So
it's like, remember when we started CIBC, the Visa Center?
Yeah.
And we were just like stressed to the max about going there for training. Yeah. Like Connor was getting sick. I was sweating profusely. Like we didn't sleep the whole night, and like we were like, can't do this, blah blah blah. It was just like we built this up all in our head, and then we got there, and it was like so mellow, so calm. It was like everybody was laughing, and everybody was having fun, and yeah, it was just like. But in my brain, I was walking into this like secure building, and we're gonna like, oh my god, they're gonna strip search us. Like, I had built up all these stories in my head.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
We do that a lot as well when we stress about things that I read a thing recently where it was talking about, stressing about things that haven't happened yet. And I think it was a conversation between the heart and the brain. And it was just like, why are you so stressed out? It's like, well, I've been thinking about all of these things and what's going to happen in the future. And it's like, well, isn't it impossible to think of all the different scenarios that might happen? Why not just wait to see what happens and deal with that? And he's like, that's great. I'm going to go think about that. It just clicked in my head. So somebody posted on Instagram. And it made me laugh because I do that all the time. I'm like, I will build the scenario in my head, or I'll have the argument, whatever it is, the thing will happen, and I will do like from A to B the entire thing, and then I'll be stressed about it or whatever, and then it'll get to the actual confrontation or the actual situation, and it won't go anything like that, and I'll be like, oh, like I worried about this for nothing. What do they say? It's like bleeding before you get cut.
Yeah, and you're one of those people that I never really know when you're super stressed, because you don't really show that. Like, when I'm stressed out, my eye gets swollen, or like I get really sick, or like stress manifests for me physically, like in my body, and like I don't feel well and all that kind of stuff. And for you, No, like
No. Again, a lot of it is internal. Most of the stuff that's going on is internal for me.
yeah. And I hate letting things like just whatever, so I'll just come out and say it all the time. So, because I'm like, I know that if I don't say what's bothering me, like I'm gonna end up with like a big eye or something the next day. So, yeah, I just.
But yeah, going back to the new thing, like you talked about when we were going through our orientation or whatever, and yeah, like I physically manifest with stuff like that. So like I will get sick and headaches and things like that, and it's a neurological thing for me, but it's you build it up to this crazy thing that's going to be insane, and then a lot of our clients come in before we even start a conversation. It's like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do this, and it's like, okay, that's maybe true. There are possibilities where physically you have injuries or situations, whatever, but 9 times out of 10 they built the thing up that it's difficult or it's whatever, and they built it into this crazy mountain that they can't overcome. And one of my favorite things is watching people realize that that isn't true. Yeah, overcoming that thing and sort of seeing the click in their head and being like, oh my God, I did the thing that I never thought I would be able to do. And now, you start to progress from there, and it's like, oh, well, what's the other thing that I thought I couldn't do that I can? You know what I mean? And then it just keeps snowballing from there.
Do you find that you ever avoid stuff?
Sure. I'm human. Like answering that question? I just did. Next.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was good.
How do you avoid stuff?
I just did.
No.
Humor. I changed the subject. That's true.
But like stuff that doesn't involve another person.
I don't know.
Like a workout.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah.
And what do you tell yourself?
Definitely situations where it's funny because I'll have that argument in my head where the part of me knows that I should be doing it, and the other part of me is just like, I don't feel like doing it. And then, I'll have that battle in my head, and then that'll go on for 20 minutes, and I'll be like, oh, no, I don't have time now.
Do you have that voice in your head? Like, yes. Oh, no.
Sometimes. Yeah. I don't know. It's in my head.
I will, if I really want to avoid something, I will clean or make another project that has to keep me busy so I don't have to do that. Yeah.
Like the editing of the videos you were talking about.
That's not avoiding it. I actually need to get that done.
No, I know, but you need to get it done now. But you've literally been talking about your YouTube channel and getting this stuff going for months. So the last YouTube video that we shot never aired, and it was us going to Costco at the beginning of the pandemic. And it was, us driving around the city and just being like, it's so weird because it was right at the beginning of when things were just about to lock down, and there was no one on the streets, and there was people that were sort of, I don't know if there was full-on lineups yet, but people started to wear masks and those type of things, and we haven't done anything on here since then for reasons, obviously, because we we're at home and are at home. We haven't left anything, and then as a result of what was going on, the business changed and we switched everything over to digital, and we had to learn a whole new skill set to get that going. But as far as avoiding stuff is concerned, that is one of the things that I'll do as well. Is I'll sort of weigh the things in my head. I'll be like, okay, well, is it really worth doing? And then I'll start to self-doubt in my head.
Self-doubt is a big one.
But again, all of that stuff, like you said, you externally do it. I do it all internally.
Yeah. I remember when we first talked about filming YouTube videos, I'm like, I don't want my body on camera.
Yeah.
And you're like, but it's your body. That's
well, that was it. That was funny. You'd be like, oh, we would have the best reality show, but I would never let anybody in my house because my house would be dirty and I wouldn't want to be on camera. I'm like, well, that's not how reality shows work. Yeah. That's not how it works. So, yeah, I don't have that. So I'm an open book. You can, whatever, as far as I'm concerned. But, that was a big thing when we started to, and then on the, I don't know how we got into this topic.
Avoidance.
Yeah, but that's, we started about, I forgot what the original topic even was at this point. That's how these work sometimes.
Yeah. I forget what the original topic was.
We just sit and chat. I don't know.
It was,
something.
when you don't want to do something.
No, that's what we got to.
No.
But that is not what we started talking about.
Oh my god.
In the comments, people are going to be like, you were talking about. I don't remember. It's gone. Yep. Good life.
Honestly, I'm drawing a blank.
It had to do with avoiding the thing that you thought was going to be difficult, and then it turning out to be not as hard.
Yeah.
And then that led us to
that there is like, I think I have to tell myself, like, the reason that I just do things and not think about it till later is my brain goes, if you tell yourself it's hard, then you're going to avoid it and you're never going to do it. If you just do it and then figure it out later, it'll be fine and you'll figure it out because you have to.
You have to do it and figure it out later. Gene.
I'm not one of those people that thinks, I need to go to university for 17 years and learn every single thing before I start something.
Yep.
I'm more of the, I have an idea. Let's do it. And we'll see how it works out. And if it doesn't, well, we'll try to fix it later. And if we don't, well, then we failed. No big deal. Move on.
And one of the things I've learned over the year, it's almost been a year. It's crazy. That's going to be a post in itself. Stay tuned. Is that sort of, you can have that battle between, is it this way or is it that way? And then what ends up happening is your reality is only the thing that you decided to do. So you don't really know how the other chain, other universe or other whatever it is, how that path went because you don't experience it. So everything is the correct way of doing it, or it's a learning opportunity for the next time that you come across that same thing. When you think of it from that perspective, it's not worth worrying about what could happen because you're never going to know what that scenario happened because you just continue your life going straight.
Yeah. Do you find...
You do that a lot in the sense that, you just make a decision and you just go.
It bothers you sometimes.
Yeah. Sure.
Why does it bother you?
Because I don't think that way again. I think of all the pros, all the cons. I weigh out everything, and to the point where a lot of times the thing doesn't get done because, I'm afraid of what is going to happen. Whereas you just do it and deal with the consequences.
That doesn't sound good.
Which is why it's a trait that you have, and it's a good thing. That's why this is what it is as far as what we're doing. But we sort of do the opposite for each other. So sometimes I'll pull you a little bit back off the ledge, and sometimes you'll push me a little bit closer to the cliff.
We never actually jump.
Yeah. If we jump, we jump together. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes we jump. Yeah.
We had to jump a few times.
We had to shut our studio down. So, yeah.
Best decision.
I'm a lot happier now than I was before. That's right.
Oh, yeah. But you had other things going on.
To be continued.
Do we want to talk about the branch?
What branch? I don't know what you're talking about. It's a lovely branch. I like it very much.
So I played a joke on Connor yesterday.
Smells great.
And if you saw it play out on my Instagram stories, which probably isn't there anymore because it only lasts for 24 hours. It was this thing that was going around Instagram, and it was like, show your husband this branch from Crate and Barrel. It was like $100. And it's just a branch like that with a string, and it hangs up.
With a twine, yeah.
Yeah, so I sent him a text saying, what do you think of this? It's really cool. Do you think it will look good in our dining room? And he's like, it's a branch. It's $100 branch. And I'm like, don't you think it's cute? I'm like, it's like plastic and it lights up. I don't even actually know what it does. And he's like, we have branches outside. And then I took a video of him saying, blah, blah, blah. But I told him the joke. Like, it was, So then it played out on Instagram. And then this morning when I woke up, there was all of these branches.
And I told her that I was going to do this. I'm like,
but I didn't think that there was
think
one
I'm joking.
branch.
I'm like, I've got a whole bunch of branches from when we cut down. I just did the thing you do where I pointed away and no one can see my hand.
Brought in one branch.
That way. Yeah.
I thought he was gonna like put the twine on it and hang it, whatever. No,
that wouldn't be
there
funny
was
at all.
branches all over it, which is now all over our floor.
It is not. And I literally told you that I was going to clean it up, so yeah, not that big deal. But yeah, it was fun.
It does
So
not smell good.
it does. It smells like pine. It doesn't smell good in here because it's all stuffy, but out there it smells good. I was like, oh, I don't actually hate the way it smells. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
But yes, so on my Instagram, I took a picture of all of the branches and then the step-by-step of me drying them off and then hanging them throughout the house. And then when she woke up this morning, there were branches on all of them. And any wall that we had that was empty that didn't have a picture or painting on it had a branch on it.
You
And
should
it
see
was
my office wall. There was like a huge
hilarious.
branch on this side.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm like. So note to self: don't play pranks on your husband.
Branch.
You
I'm telling you, man.
I'm leaving it there.
It's a side hustle.
Fuck.
You said yesterday, a branch that size is $100. I've got branches that are like this big. That's definitely way worth it. It's gonna be my Christmas money.
Yep, this is our life.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Gong Show.
Yes, that's the name of this episode. Welcome to the Gong Show.
All right, so we have a full day today.
True.
Thursday is.
I've done a bunch of it already. I've already had 3 classes.
I slept in a bit because I have a coaching call tonight that goes pretty late, and so I slept in till 5-ish.
Yeah.
So I could be a little bit more coherent later on in the day. But you teach all
Less like this.
Yeah.
More awake. Yeah, I teach not all day. I teach Noah homeschool until 3:30, and then 3:30, and then 5, and then 5:30, and then 6 to 7, and then 7 to 7:30.
Yeah, and I'm doing a lot of office work and Black Friday promos.
Black Friday promos.
And then I have a lot of coaching stuff going on. My clients like to do a little extra stuff on the side, so they do coaching with me one-on-one. That's just more about lifestyle stuff than fitness and food.
I got a bunch of branches to take down. And then vacuuming.
All right, so
Yeah.
This is it. We out.
Yep. Peace. We still don't have an outro.
No, we'll get one.